So let's just say the Philadelphia Eagles are better than your favorite team. A lot of teams, and you can check my bet receipts. A lot of teams I did not think were going to lose definitely lost this weekend, but the Eagles came through. But as always, there's some terrible news to go with it. I feel like every time we play the Rams, there's terrible news attached to it. So we're just going to hop right into it. Let's go.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Bringing it back right to 2017, the last time that I remember something this like heartbreaking for an Eagles team is when we lost Carson Wentz in that game. Obviously, he finished that drive, got a touchdown on a torn ACL, but we lost him for that season. We went on to win the Super Bowl. This Sunday felt no different. Sunday night against the Rams, I thought it was going to be a huge test for this defense. They really showed up. They really went out there and impressed the heck out of me, if I'm being honest. But we lost our leader. We lost the captain. We lost a legend. We lost a guy that, I'm over here talking about him like he passed away. I darn near teared up last night when I heard that Brandon Graham is out for the season. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what the Eagles need to do to kind of shore up that position. And we're also going to talk about the game, obviously, which was a beautiful game. But if you don't know, it's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco. And it is another episode of Philly the podcast. So let's hop into it. We're going to start with the game. We're going to start with the good stuff, all right? We're going to start with the juicy stuff. Saquon Barkley is MVP of the damn league. I don't want to hear anything different. I don't want to hear anybody say anyone else in the NFL, nobody else in the team. Watch it just for the smiles that we are getting from Jalen Hurts, from Saquon. But every time you saw Saquon Barkley go out there and bust a big run, you saw Jalen Hurts just smiling his tail off. When is the last time that you've seen that? Realistically, I want to say 2020, but I don't know if he was even this happy. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Yesterday I was watching it and me and my girl were like, this is a beautiful win. Saquon's nasty. This person's nasty. And I was like, we just have a really good team. Like, we can point out this person, that person. Everybody's doing their job, from the Kobe Dean to Isaiah Rodgers making some plays, getting kind of hosed on some plays. To be 100% honest with you, there were some terrible calls in that game, but it is what it is. We beat all 12 of them. The 11 men on the field and then the ref, right? So we beat them all. At the end of the day, we can't really complain too much. You're going to get good calls. You're going to get bad calls. They had bad calls against them as well. So it evened out. It was just a bad ref crew. But to see us go out there and continuously make plays when things were, it felt there were a lot of big moments, in that game. And even though we went out there and the score looks like we just demolished them, there were big moments. There were moments that if you didn't make those plays, if you don't get those points, if you don't get that Saquon Barkley run in the second half to start the second half off, it could be a totally different game. If you go 3 and out there, it could be a totally different game. So there were moments in that game where you saw Jalen Hurts stepping up. A.J. Brown, he don't even have to step up. He just got to stay where he is. Just keep making plays, big dog. But he stepped up. You saw, obviously, Saquon stepping up. You saw Kenneth Gainwell making some plays, getting his touchdown. So you saw everybody. Dallas Goedert making plays. Like, I can literally sit here and go through every single player. So I was very, very impressed with this offense, very impressed with this defense. You continue to play smart football. The one thing I said going into this game is that you had to continue to establish your identity. You are a run-first team. You are a run-heavy team, run-dominant, whatever you want to call it. That is who you are. You live and die between the tackles, right? That's where you live and die between, and it's beautiful to see that they're just continuing it. So shout out to Kellen Moore. I think he called an amazing game yesterday. I think that defensively, Vic Fangio is making me look stupid. I will sit here and continuously tell you I was wrong about Vic Fangio. He got these boys playing. So we'll talk about injuries real quick and what we need to do to kind of shore those positions up. I know that Brandon Graham got all the headline, but Darius Slay I'm assuming he's probably going to miss next week. He's going into concussion protocol. By the time you're watching this, he's probably already in concussion protocol. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. I said this yesterday, just talking during the game, is it time that, Darius Slay, or would Darius Slay even consider maybe moving to the slot or maybe just stepping out completely. Maybe taking a couple weeks off, maybe limiting his snaps, kind of putting him on a snap count, just limiting what he does. We've seen him get injured a couple of times now in the past couple of weeks, and he's had a good season. I know a lot of people are going to call out, oh, well, he got hit on this play. He got hit on that play. He got hit on that play. They are literally motioning their players away from Quignon's side. They're trying to keep people out of their good players, at least, out of the slot. So, I mean, Darius Slay is going to see the brunt of those targets just because of that. I mean, it's math, right? So he is going to see the most targets. You're probably going to see him get beat more than other players that aren't seeing as many targets. So I'm in no way saying, he's honestly, he is playing very well. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it or downplay it. He's played very well, but I just feel like I don't want to lose you before the playoffs. I don't want you to be too banged up before the playoffs. We've seen it before. So maybe it's a good time to, let Isaiah Rodgers get some meaningful snaps. Let Kaylee Ringo get some meaningful snaps. Maybe see if you want to push Cooper DeJean to the outside. I know his role in the nickel right now is just so important, so I doubt that they'll want to do that. But, search some options. Search some things that may work for you come playoff time, because you never know. Health is always something you can't predict, right? So you want to keep these guys healthy, and you want to have options if said person isn't healthy. So speaking of options, unfortunately, we lost Bryce Huff already, and now we lose the legend. I don't care what nobody says. Brandon Graham is one of my favorite Eagles of all time. Just the way he talks, the way he holds himself as a professional, and the way that I feel like these past couple of years, he has it's been different. It's been different. I want to say switch. I want to say all the cliche things you say about a player when they're going crazy, but it's been different. He has looked amazing. These past couple of weeks, he has looked incredible. This game, he looked incredible. He was all over the field. So to see a guy like that lose the season, which might be his last, I will do a little inference here. I will do a little reading between the lines, and I think that he might be open to coming back. But that's a situation for the offseason. We'll see what happens there. But it just stinks, man. He was having such a great year, such a great story to end his career. And just to see him, it really is heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. Maybe I'm, overdoing it. You guys let me know in the comments. But I was sad, man. I was sad. Again, he was just playing so well. You never want to see anybody get hurt, regardless of how well they're playing or how poor, but he was playing so well. I felt like he was flying around the field. He was really a great mentor for these young guys. But what are we going to do, right? That's the question. What do you do now? Now that you lost Bryce Huff until the playoffs, he should be back by the playoffs, which is good. But you lost Brandon Graham indefinitely. So what do? You're looking for more production out of these guys that have been giving you a little bit of flashes, right? JAYLX Hunt, haven't seen too much of him. Heard great things about him. Obviously, you look at the tape in his college days, you see the athleticism, you see what he has and what he could be. Is he there yet? I don't know. We'll see. He was doing very good in preseason. He was doing very good all throughout training camp. So it'll be interesting to see how much they trust him. Obviously, the immediate answer is Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is going to have to really go out there and ball the heck out. We have to see what's going on with Josh Sweat. I know he got a little banged up towards the end of the game. At the time of the recording this, haven't seen anything about that. So fingers crossed that it's nothing big. But, you look at Nolan Smith, you look at JAYLX Hunt, you look at Milton Williams. Milton Williams is a guy that can go on the outside. He can go on the inside. Jalen Carter, another guy that can move to the outside if you need him to. You still got Jordan Davis. So my thoughts are, I would love to see a free agent, maybe Thomas Booker, another guy that can get some more snaps on the inside, kind of free you to move those guys on the outside. But I would love to see a free agent. I would love to see somebody maybe come up from the practice squad that they really have trust in. But at the same time, I truly do believe that you have the guys on this roster, maybe not the depth, but you have the guys that can replace the top end guys. So maybe you get maybe you let one of these guys like a Thomas Booker that you have on the roster see a little bit more snaps. Moro Jamo see a little bit more snaps. You let those guys see more snaps on the inside, so you're able to push Jalen Carter a little bit more to the outside, kind of utilize Milton Williams and his versatility. So that's what I'm assuming you're going to see no matter what. But it wouldn't shock me to see them go out there and pick up a free agent. I would have to really sit here and look through who's a free agent and tell you if there's guys I love. But they're a free agent and in what, week 12, week 13? So, I mean, it's probably for a reason. It is what it is. But, you know, it's a terrible, terrible way to go out there and you know, just lose a huge piece of your team. There's no way that you're going to replace who Brandon Graham is. You can probably replace some of his production, but it's going to be hard to replace who he is on and off the field. So that's going to be tough, but that's my assumption of what they're going to do. Then you look at Josh Sweat. Again, we don't know what's going on with Josh Sweat. If we lose Josh Sweat, that's huge. That's huge, even if it's for a week. I do believe in Nolan Smith. I do believe in Jalen Carter and Moro Jamo. I believe that Milton Williams breakout game yesterday, which I think a lot of people aren't going to talk about, but that really was. I don't think that was a fluke. I don't think that was a one-off. I think we're going to start seeing these young men really come out and start to shine. Jordan Davis has been looking good to me as well, and I know the stats don't necessarily back it up, but when you turn on the tape with that kid, and he's just an absolute animal. So Saquon, rest up Brandon Graham. Hopefully you get good soon. And I didn't say this in the middle of the video. I usually like to do this in the middle of the video, but if you made it all the way this far, you rock with me and we friends at this point. So please hit that like, hit that subscribe. You guys have been showing an incredible amount of love, and I just appreciate it so much. And I do want to give a shout out to one of my members, man. Give me 1 second to grab that. I want to shout out one of my members for commenting on the video last night. If you aren't a member, just so you know, from now on, I'm going to be doing a members only, just a quick reaction to the video live, so you guys kind of see what I'm thinking live, and you guys can react with me. And let me get it right here. Shout out to my guy, Drew Goat. He said, great win, big loss, losing BG for the season is sad. One of my favorite Eagles of all time. Fly, Eagles, fly. So shout out to my guy, Drew. And if you guys want to get your shout out, definitely join the membership. It's only $1. But other than that, I've been talking too much. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's going to be. As soon as I said B, I thought G. And then I start going down the spiral. And it's just too much. But yeah, we out here. Peace.
Everywhere. This is for you.
Yeah. Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here cool with Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.